Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's Star Ladder / I-League in the Star Series number 13. And we are getting ready to dive into the third series of today. It's day 3 of Phase 2 action. And, well, it's Team Liquid going against Team Secret here. And, I gotta tell you, I don't have the best production value currently, but I will try my best. Let's throw this fucking thing right on the screen here, and you can see where we currently stand with Stage 2. Group A versus Pro, still in a good position, even though they did drop their series earlier. Spoiler alert against Alliance. We're now going to be heading back into Group B here, where we are witnessing Liquid take on Secret. Secret, as we know, upset yesterday. My goodness, they got taken down pretty bad by Vega, so they definitely need to get a win for a comeback. And Liquid are also down a series, so they both need a win, and we're going to find out if they're going to get it. This is KotLGuy for Beyond the Summit, and of course I'm going to be joined by the one and only Scant. Scant, my friend, glad to have you here. Clairvoyance has stepped out, you have stepped in, and I'm always happy to change things up. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good about this one. I think it's the first time that Puppy and Kuroki have faced each other since they stopped playing in a team together, so I think there's hype about that.
Oh, yes.
I don't think that Liquid actually have much to play for here, like, statistically speaking, because I think they've actually lost 2 series already in the group, so they're gonna be bottom 2, because it's top 2 qualifier, and bottom 2, like, have that last chance. So Secret are actually playing to try and make top 2, and Liquid, I mean, by no means do I think they're not going to like try their best or something, but they can't get those guaranteed spots.
Yeah, I may have been mistaken. I said 1 series down, but I didn't refresh the page from the series they played earlier today. And you're right, yeah, they're down 2 series. They're already stuck in a bit of a rut here, but hey, if you take down a team like Secret, that makes you look pretty good, so there's that going for them as well. But yeah, we'll see if they're going to do it. And the other thing to note here, and I was confused by this when I was casting them yesterday, and it apparently is true, that is not Eternal Envy playing for Secret. That is actually Illidan, formerly of virtus.pro, I believe. Right now sporting the misspelled name Caffeine Warrior, but that is not Envy. Because I have Envy on my friends list as well, somehow, and he's definitely not here in this game. So
it's not like an alias or.
No, I mean he was in a game at least before. I mean they haven't made it clear. I guess I should have directly asked them. I figured they would keep us up to snuff, but apparently that's not Eternal Envy, and that is Illidan. I was calling him Eternal Envy yesterday, but in the lobby as well, his name finished with .Illidan, so I think it is him, but. That's interesting in itself and all good, Scant, but hold on a second here. Did they just second pick a Huskar? And they don't have Dazzle, They only have a Tusk. What the hell's happening over here?
I don't know. It's a different approach. They're trying something out, definitely, and it's interesting because I just finished writing an article about cheese strats in the current metagame, and people talk about stuff like Huskar as being cheese, but when you pick it this early on in the draft, I mean, you're giving the enemy team all the time they want to devise a plan to deal with it, and sometimes I think that when teams take the Huskar or the Brood or whatever so early on, part of the intention is exactly that, to get the enemy drafted to over-focus on that hero and spend their whole draft trying to compensate for it, instead of focusing on, putting together a coherent plan.
Well, we'll see if it's going to work out for him here. It just seems very rambunctious for someone like Puppy and Secret right now. We don't get to see them kind of pull out an ace so early.
Apparently I got to change the batteries of my headphones just very quickly. I'll be back in a sec.
No problem, man. Get them changed and charged up. Liquid now going to be picking up the 3rd pick, Undying. And, well, adds the bit of aggression they want. It can be pretty good and frustrating for the Huskar, I suppose, a bit, though. If he does focus down the Tombstone, it will die pretty damn fast. But they get their extra bit of sustain. They don't have to worry about an AA on the field. It's already been preemptively banned out from Secret because of their Huskar grab. But now we got to start thinking, I wonder if this is going to be a Misery Tusk, or if they still consider an option like a Slardar, let's say, and creep that in for their offlaner.
I mean, Misery is perfectly capable of playing Tusk, but I think that Secret, at least from what they've shown at the majors, they were rating Slaughter as a top offlane hero. It's actually strange to me that we don't see early banners and they also don't pick it. I suppose the Darkseer has already been taken, and so they feel like, you know, they're in a position where if they want to go for another offlaner, they can. Whereas Liquid aren't really. Liquid kind of tied to putting mind control on that Darkseer. And Secret will start with just the Witch Doctor for now, which is another healing hero. Plus the Cask can be annoying for anyone who's trying to like finish off the Huskar, and you like want to get those last hits, and Cask just keeps bouncing back and forth. Any hero that kind of interferes with the ability to burst and execute fully your kill combo is going to be good to team up with Huskar.
5 seconds remaining.
Have you watched Liquid recently? I happened to cast Liquid 2 series I think in the last week, and they don't look that convincing to me. I gotta say, I think they won one series 2-1 against Team Alternate, and they lost 2-1 against CIS Rejects and against Vegas Squadron. And I don't know, since the break they just don't look entirely convincing to me. Maybe they just need to work their way back into things, because right before the break they won Dota 2 Champions League, and sure they went to the major, but OG was in that tournament, the Dota 2 Champions League, so it was a big tournament that they won online. And since then, since they came back, all I see is they pick Gyro every game from a Timberman, and the results are kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and you know what? It sounds like that really nothing has changed in the end, because I mean I was watching them firsthand at like Nanyang and stuff, and they put up a respectable fight, but it wasn't good enough to get them into that like upper echelon of play. And if things have even faltered since then I'm not too sure. I'm getting reports now that it actually is Envy, so really at this point I'm a bit up in the air, Scant, as far as if it is or not. I know the guy really wants to express himself with different unique names, so he may have just stepped out from his what was tournament account secret, with Envy actually spelled out, and decided I wanted to pick a different account and go. But it certainly doesn't help that his name in the lobby had .Illidan at the end of it, so in my defense,
the reason I thought it's Eternal Envy is because it has the same picture on his Twitter and on this account.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it could be that he's just like kind of in solidarity with Illidan, because Illidan, the unfortunate victim of the current set of reshuffling.
Sorry, I asked for simple things like players use their player names and strike damn me to hell. But here we go. Liquid. Oh, this is a classic for them though. A Fata special, something we don't get to see very often outside of this team. Not much recently. The Razor grab here. So, what do you think? Pretty good. Possibly going against man mode of Huskar. You're able to sap away all that delicious damage he's looking to dish out. I wager that, they have 3 freaking mech candidates now between Darkseer, Undying, and Razor. One of them will pick it up, and then it may be kind of go time for Liquid, and see if maybe they can kind of outclass Secret with their game plan.
Yeah, Razor's got physical damage to kill Huskar, can steal Huskar's damage, and even just the Razor's passive makes it really unappealing for Huskar to want to ulti onto Razor. So it's a nice pick here, I think, and absolutely, as you said, it's a comfort pick for Liquid, because it's one of Fat's favorite heroes recently, and, well, not just recently in general, but recently has been playing it. In fact, this Razor Gyro dual core has been, I think, their favored dual core to go for in the last week. Repeatedly. The thing that I've noticed about Liquid recently, by the way, is that they seem to go behind early on in almost every game they're in, and even the ones they win, they seem to start behind and then pull things together with those fights. And definitely with heroes like Darkseer, Gyrocopter, and Dying together, you can see why that might work. But the heroes here, by no means weak in lane stage. It's just for some reason they've been... Maybe it's just because they keep playing against CIS teams. It just feels like they've been getting the worst end of the aggression early on.
Yeah. Got a taste of a little bit of everything else when he went off to Nanyang and everything, but now they've been back into that European circuit, and it can be a violent thing in there, and something that may not complement their own personal play style, or at least something that they're used to. And we'll see if it's going to continue to work here. Last ban going to be the Rubik here, so the response, a Night Stalker here. Adds even more to kind of that high tempo play. And, well, what do you think? Restricting that bit of vision could prove to be a bit difficult if Huskar's looking to go on the rampage, if he doesn't really have much of a scope as far as if it's going to be a safe target to jump on, or if the whole team's going to be there waiting behind him. And I'm sure it kind of limits the options here for Secret as far as what do they want to get for their next core grab or even support.
Yeah, I think Secret will be surprised by this pick, to be honest. I think that KotLGuy maybe pulled a fast one on Puppy, because seeing the Undying as the first support, you don't expect another melee support. And the Night Stalker does actually come out, and this is a hero that they won't want to play against, I think. It's a hero that no team ever wants to play against, but I think Secret in particular, the way they like to split up on the map, the way they like to like gain farm
10
advantages
seconds
and
remaining.
fights, don't want to be against that extra vision. And well, look at that, they get their own vision hero. And this is something we saw them do, I think, once or twice the Frankfurt Major as well. If the enemy team's going to have that unfair vision bonus, we're going to have one too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the KotLGuy bounty hunter, tried and tested.
I can see both these teams really farming up fast and being a problem in the mid game, where I anticipate the fireworks are really going to start flying around, especially if this KotLGuy bounty hunter is able to kind of go off to a good head start. And that adds a lot of pressure for someone like Fata. And is he going to have the help necessary there? We don't really know a Night Stalker Undying to continue to float around this mid lane and be that babysitter a bit. They're usually off trying to get, other work done. So is this going to be a bit of a problem for Liquid in their early laning stage? I feel like that's going to be a very valuable time
10
for them. And if it's
seconds
kind of shortchanged at all, they could run into some serious problems.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, the biggest concern for me for Liquid's early laning stage is that I don't think that their heroes are that mobile in terms of switching around lanes. And I mean, Night Stalker once the night comes, sure, but they're gonna have to decide very carefully how they lane things to start with. Whereas I think the Bounty Hunter or the Witch Doctor could move around the map and adjust according to where they need to be for the side of Secrets. And based on that, I think Kuro TPs to the mid lane early, gets his quick ward up. It's going to give some scouting. They'll probably see who's going to come to the top rune, give them information about the lanes, and be able to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, that kind of ward just leads me to believe that maybe they actually want to get in a bit of a fight at the start. If not, it always provides that extra bit of intel, and they can adjust their lanes accordingly, of course. But and that may be the case here, as most of them have migrated now to the bottom part of the river, and it looks like Secret are just going to overwhelm themselves up here at the top. So with that, trying to see, doesn't look like anything is going to be too fishy with the laning set up here. Is this just this mid lane Huskar? Oh no, we here of course going to be playing the Wind Ranger. All right, fair enough.
KotLGuy could die. He could die early on. There's a dust on the Night Stalker, and I don't think you always expect it. It's also kind of like part of his job description when he plays this roaming bounty that he gives up a few kills to make space early on. It looks like Liquid's all headed to the other rune though, and he'll probably get information on that dust.
They want that fight. They already have 2 ion shells out, and oof, what a soak right there. He just got three stacks from that one nuke. So KotLGuy definitely ready for a fight if one's going to be presented to them. Wouldn't you know it, Weehawd just steps in, takes the bounty rune under his nose, turns around and walks away. They got both runes there at the end of the day.
Yeah, so always a good start getting both bounty runes. And actually having one of them on the bounty hunter I think is very important. It's not something that we see happening that often, but bounty hunter's level 2 is much stronger than his level 1. Once you have the Orb of Venom and the Janata online, you really are a threat to weak enemy supports. That said, Liquid actually don't have particularly weak enemy supports. Both the Undying and the Night Stalker are both heroes that traditionally actually play in the off lane because they're so strong early on. So it might be that he ends up targeting the cores a bit more, with Timberman or moving across the mid lane. But for now he's actually just getting that solo XP. Misery's actually started a pull, and they clearly prioritize KotLGuy getting that very quick level 2.
Yeah, and then they could probably do a bit of a swap at that point, but man, mind control. Real hard time for him. Look at this. Envy's just like, don't even think about coming out of there, coming close to these creeps. Now he does decide to go man mode a bit here. Ion Shell gets the surge. KotLGuy's nearby, dishes out a bit of damage here, and look like the Envy maybe in trouble. Oh, he's got a salve. Pops it up a bit. TP, can he eat his way through? He's trying to. He does. Hops out the other side. Oh, man. Well, he wants it. He wants it. KotLGuy running in. Got the former teammate down. What a smack on the ass right there. We'll take him apart. And he returns right back the other way. First blood.
That's a big loss as well. It's on Envy's self and all of his tangos, and he still goes down. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there's aggression in the opposite direction. Looks like Liquid's actually under threat here.
Yep. Now a committed snowball. Derek's pops out the dust, so they maintain vision on Pi, but he's going to be losing his own life, it looks like here. Envy even rotating to the bottom lane now. Oh, look at that. Shard block. It looks like they might be able to make it a 2-fer. One more. They got it. That flame should be able to tick him down to...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not death. He's holding out. He's got the tango, and he's good.
Yeah, just barely not killing him, but that's what I was expecting. After Tono Envy burned through all his regen and died the top lane, it's like, okay, forget about this aggro lane. I'm going to the safe lane, guys, because Huskar's a hero that really needs to get a good farm early on. You can't have a Huskar on a lane that's being like too contested, because otherwise it kind of like defeats the purpose of the hero, especially in this game where he seems to be a key component in what their game plan is going forward.
Still waiting out here. Bottom lane has been very eager and hungry to soak up the XP while he can, leaving Misery kind of out in the back, but they've changed up the lanes a bit. Envy is here, but they still don't seem to be quite comfortable with the way things have been set up. KotLGuy continues to be on the move. He's still level 3. He hasn't really even found a home for himself, but just being a part of all this action and everything, he has found a good chunk of XP. Yet to really spend the points, whether he needs to pull out a quick soul rip or commit to a tombstone.
Yeah, reminds me of there's a classic video of Ice 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 Roman diving someone at level 1 at their tower and killing them, and it's because I was saying during the draft, like, they're a bit limited in their early roam, but Crow's just made it work. Walking around the map, doing all the things. I mean, he got those early boots, that's helpful. He got that early kill, and yeah, as you said, he's going to take whatever he needs when he needs it. And he's not going to be that scared of PyLite right here.
No. Just gets off a free bit of strength and turns back out. And he's happy to keep PyLite kind of juggling with him a bit. If he gets the attention off the lane, because Envy can't feel comfortable at all doing the lane solo. In fact, he's coming over, looking to participate in this kill on for Kuro. Can he get it? Jarek's and company are coming to help out, and Envy's going to be going down. They made that look rather easy. They still have the slow and the dust vision for Pi, but do they have follow-up vision? They don't need it. They just shrug him off with a quick rocket barrage and the void. And it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Advantage for, well, Team Liquid.
Part of the plan for PyLite to die usually, but not part of the plan for Eternal Envy to die, and he's had 2 early deaths here. Also, PyLite had 2 of his own kills before he died, so it's not as... Usually when they throw away the PyLite deaths early on, it's not that big a deal, but he's where the money was at on his team to some extent, so it's significant that he dies as well in that case.
And what lane has been rather quiet up to this point has been mid lane, but top just doesn't stop. Mind control going to get blocked out. Back of his surge going to be finished off, so they get the snowball. They're looking for one more right click. They can't quite get it. He gets the salve off. They're going to cancel the salve. PyLite still wants it. Another one. And look at that. He still will go down. Shuriken's toss is going to be there. The exchange is going to be Misery. And it will be split one apiece. High action game here. Already 7 kills in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Interesting that Jerax decided to go for that early points and crippling fear to help make a kill. He's now got his first points in Hunter in the Knights, but he's leveling at a pretty good rate, and I think that's a little bit scary when you have a Night Stalker getting those levels on the support role so early on, because again, it's running support Night Stalker plus Undying, something you could be punished for, but so far I think Liquid's the one that's doing the punishing mostly.
He's stalking out this top lane, but it's Secret who kind of pulled more hands on deck. Envy making his return back to top lane now. But they are just working with the pull camp as it stands here. And they'll trade up a bit. Mind Control just trying to take the control back and is getting the assistance, and they've just taken this wave over. This is a really tough early game for Envy's. 10-1, and you want a Huskar to get online and get online fast. One to typically get a timely armlet in like, what, 7-8 minutes if you're having a good game? And it seems like it's going to be quite late in this one at this rate.
Yeah, Huskar is just not really a recovery hero. It's meant to be a hero that's putting the pressure on the enemy team, not one that's trying to deal with the pressure on us. Obviously, they do have a bounty hunter, which means that at any point in the game, they get a good fight, a bunch of track kills, and suddenly, like, the whole gold dynamic changes. Bot lane Misery's trying... Yeah, I think he's fine. That's a good snowball away,
snowball
actually.
Out, what a hero. And he gets the trap onto Kuro, and he's stuck under the tower. He's going to be forced to just TP out. Back to tower. Nice play for Misery. And he'll be able to possibly
it's only really Weehaw.
Easy gold, 100 gold for the tombstone. Oh, and it doesn't stop
Top
yet.
lane, EE is dying.
Yeah. Well, EE is tying top, but bottom lane, they're also making it go. Matama Man, Gyrocopter uppercutted and will be taken apart. And as you said, at the same time, Eternal Envy gets jumped top lane. What happened there?
Yeah. They literally just ran straight at him. Double Iron Shell, Night Stalker slowed him, and he couldn't handle the damage. I was gonna say, Weehaw is the only one who's really having the early game that Secret want to have. And that's, I mean, Wind Ranger can do a lot, But it's tricky. She needs to make kills. I mean, she doesn't. This is not a hero that has a good lane stage and then snowballs with the farm. Needs to be able to actually like get kills to ramp it up around the time just before, just after you get that Aghanim Scepter. And I think that Huskar was meant to make some of the space for her early on. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Wii in this game.
Yeah.
Since Envy starts has been so poor.
Yeah, I don't know, because at their exchange, you know, all the meanwhile, this Gyrocopter has a pretty good time. He did go down just recently, but he still holds a top 3 net worth. This guy's power treads. He's definitely further along than where Envy is right now. And they still have Fata even to back on that, you know, back up that. So while Wii is trying to look to step in, he'll have a couple people to have to deal with here. But look at this. They might get a good grab here onto Kuro. Nice shard block, follow-up Walrus punch, but look who shows up, that Matamba man, and he just slaughters through both of them. They will take down Kuro, but they lose Envy again, and they will lose Misery here to the hands of Matamba man.
Under attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say before, Envy was actually the lowest net worth until like a minute ago. And part of that's that he's at a poor start, but it also tells you something about the rest of the heroes in this game. That Liquid firstly are running 2 reasonably greedy or involved support heroes, and Secret of the Bounty Hunter doing a similar thing, and the Witch Doctor Puppy just happened to have stayed in the same lane for a really long time, and most of the heroes in this game haven't. And so there's actually quite a like decent spread in the early net worth, with not really like anyone very clearly falling behind, and only really the 2 or 3 front runners at the front.
They know Jarek is there. They pinged him out. Weehaw had been waiting for him, and when he shows himself, he gets a beautiful shackle and takes him down. He almost goes down himself, but here is the re-engagement from Secret. It's enough to just muscle back Fata a bit, but that was a nice counteraction right there with the help of the vision. And he seemed to get a little glimmer of vision there. He pinged it out, and he was ready to go.
And the first track kill of the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Yummy.
So that's where it starts, and that's, I mean, I said there will be pressure on Weehaw this game. Eternal Envy's game's not starting the way it is, but actually Pyla Dies could be the hero for Secrets. If he keeps making track kills for them, all of a sudden we will forget about the fact that there was a problematic, and if he starts them, or Pyla gets dusted at the bot lane, but they've actually missed him, ran straight past him as they dusted him.
Oh, and they
Just
missed
those
mid lane
trees
too.
obscuring their vision.
At that same moment, they had missed a shard attempt to catch out Fata. Mid lane. Check back, probably a little bit of damage, but both sides will miss opportunities there. And they could converge possibly at the river. Nope. Misery doesn't want anything of it. And, well, as the game progresses right now, I mean, can't help but things are just going to continue to get better for Liquid. They seem to kind of have the number all over. And where Envy tries to show himself and farm up, trouble could be nearby. Right now it's top lane, and he only has to worry about a Darkseer who's trying to find a bit of his own equal farm. Got to, of course, get the level in the wall eventually and some vacuum levels going. And he's going to be the mech candidate. Is it at that point, Scant, when he gets mech, that it's going to be go time for Liquid?
Yeah, probably. I think so. That's where they group up and start doing things. Also, we'll probably combine with the next night, roughly. No, maybe not quite. Well, Pyla Die, actually, look at that. Double track Shuriken to harass from long range. Really trying to do the most he can on this Bounty Hunter, recognizing that he's the one who's got an extra value on his team early on in the game. And usually it's inverted, where, you know, they've prioritized Envy, Pyla Die's actually died to make space. But there's certainly something to be said for an over-leveled Bounty Hunter early on in the game, and I think it is possible for that to be a problem for Team Liquid, and could even preempt their, you know, get the mech group up kind of thing if they lose a few kills with the track before that happens.
Right now, though, they're sieging a bit on bottom here. He has his early start with his phase and null, but we wager he will be going right for the Aghanim setup. And it's one of those things like when Ranger is just going to do her job, she will be able to creep in a couple of kills. Right now, sitting at 2-0, but there's no real way to stop her. And next thing you know, she turns on you. She gets the Aghanims together, she gets some respectable damage, and next thing you know, she's in pursuit of you, and you have no answer for it. And, well, to respond to that, it's going to be Liquid trying to kind of peek before she has that opportunity to be a real late-game problem. And you never know. Envy could also find his way back into some farm. Bottom lane, Matama committing in with the call down. It's going to be a swing and a miss, though. And Pilot Eye, of course, not going to be detected out. Or will he? I just say that, but he heads right back to Jarek, so gets off a dust. And he almost gets him down here, but it's not going to be enough. Step back from Wii will help him out with a good shackle shot. Follows up Void, but I don't know if this kill's going to be happening. Oh, wow, even a cheeky little shuriken. Look at back over here now. Fata keeping away from trouble. No! Gets caught out with a snowball. Walrus punch.
Radiant's top
Envy
tower
there
is
and
under
involved.
attack.
This one won't have a Trek kill attached to it. And it looked like KotLGuy was also able to kind of make it away.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
of course,
is
probably
under
the major reason we see the Huskar pick so early on in the game
Radiant
is that
structures are
it is a really
fortified.
good pick against the Gyro. The Gyro was the first pick for Liquid, and I think that Huskar, even if he's a little bit behind
Dire's
on
middle
farm,
tower is under
will
attack.
always be winning those 1v1s against Gyrocopter. It's quite difficult for Gyrocopter to finish him off because the Rocket Barrage is just magic damage and his attack speed's pretty slow. So if Eternal Envy can kind of, I mean, it looks like they've stemmed the blood flow. It looks like, you know, if he stops dying, keeps farming, gets a couple items, might actually be back on track even without the track kills.
Yeah, that's a very real thing, and they really haven't posed much of a threat to him directly since the start of the game. And now you have him and Weehaw both farming here. And Tomaman, who wants to be a bit more proactive, it seems. Certainly him and Jarex are constantly on the move, seeking some opportunities here. Looks like he's going to head his business top, but Kuro's in trouble. Snowballed up, Misery and Pi make their move in, and they're going to get free track gold split between all of them. Very, very nice.
Yeah, so I mean, the only thing they could hope for more is that Envy is near enough to get the track gold, because he's the one they want to boost back up. I actually got a message from Knoxville telling me it's the 4th lowest Eternal Envy's net worth has been this year at the 10-minute mark. So yeah, definitely a standout start to the game. But as we've discussed, I think he can definitely recover. Well, in the meantime, Weehaw might be in a little bit of danger. He's trying to turn it around.
Oh, but Misery helps, comes in from behind, hits him up with the Walrus Punch. Call down's still going to come out, but the damage had already been done with the help of Puppey and his Death Ward. They will get the Gyrocopter down, and they are looking to retreat from Fata, or are they? A turn back comes out from Misery, gets a nice shard block. Kuro looking to come help out, can't get the soul rip off because he's shackled up. And that means that he could be going down as well. It could be a 3-man takedown here for Secret. And it looks like it will be. Walrus Punch is there. Misery gets another shard, and it's over. Puppey, killing spree for him. A huge turnaround for Secret. Nicely played. Everyone in attendance when necessary.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's a calm poise by Weehaw to kind of, I mean, he didn't get afraid. Gyro and Razor running him down. He could get burst on pretty fast. He's like, I'm going to hit a shackle. My teammates are coming. Hits another shackle afterwards. So he's doing the work his team needs him to do so far, absolutely, in this game.
Looks like Jarek's got himself out of what could have been a sticky situation there. Got himself back to safety, and Secret will resume their bit of farm, and Liquid might have to take this moment to step off a bit. Or if they want to come together, I mean, the mech is done. And bottom lane, vacuum back, surging up Fata here, and oh, he's going down Deathman's alley right now. With a Razor on your butt, yeah, you're not doing anything there. Easily just whips him down.
He stayed to finish the tower, and it wasn't denied. So you might argue that it's worth it for Puppey to go down to make sure the tower doesn't get denied. He didn't get the last hit, but it wasn't denied, and I think that's significant. It's quite a lot of gold.
Mid lane, a always deceptively looking wounded Envy Huskar will continue to farm up, and Wager probably soon going for the helm of the Dominator himself, and he's forming up to get back on quota for where a Huskar needs to be. They're not able to kind of address him at this time, but Liquid are still thirsty to do something here. They're scouting out this mid lane, but Secret, what looks like already a step ahead, in a good defensive position out and away. Now they are putting out someone mid lane. Pi gets off the track, but he could walk himself into trouble. Did they have a sentry down right here? It doesn't look like it. Now they drop one. They'll see Pi. Liquid looking to make a move in. Jarex pops the Nightfall. Snowball comes out from Misery. They're looking to bring him back. Call down could be right on their head. Puppey dishes out a big enough a death ward, but it's going to get canceled out from the vacuum of mind control. And now Liquid looking to move. A good shackle on the Fata, but Tomaman ends up cleaning out 2 already. A double kill for him. What a snipe. They're able to get the grab on KotLGuy. That's 3 down all day. Liquid step back, finish off the tier 1, and now will advance on forward.
Yeah, that's that group up you were talking about. They got the mech on the dark side, they have the tombstone, the cooldown, and just throw in some Nightstalker vision, and it's pretty terrifying.
Oh, Envy.
They're going for more.
They want it, they got it. He goes down, just caught out front. Ooh. Power shot almost gets Jarex there. Liquid are unfortunately just a little too beaten and battered to be able to continue their push in the mid lane, but very, very satisfied with the turn of events in their favor. They came together at the game plan and it worked out. So it's just a matter of them holding this, continuing to build up their next item, and keep the pressure up. That's about it. I mean, it looks like they're going to be able to help out. Fata is going to be building into a BKB. Or no, he's going to go SNY. SNY.
The really tricky thing about Eternal Envy being underfarmed is that I feel like, as a player, I mean, it's arguable that he's the best carry player in the world at the moment, but a lot of that has to do with farming really efficiently and making good choices about which items to buy. And when the farm's not happening, when you don't have the choice making to do, I think he has the tendency to maybe get into a position where, you know, he's not used to making those. He's used to making decisions about what do I optimize, how do I do this, not like how do I damage control, which is really what he's had to do in this game so far.
Dire structures are fortified.
We'll have to see. Put in a position like this where he's having such a slow start, the recovery, the dedication is something to be admired, and we'll see if he'll be able to take care of it here. But mid lane, he could be running into more trouble. Or he's surging on forward. Mind Control gets a vacuum back, and they pincer him off. They put a tombstone on one side. He just jumps, flips on forward, and says, "See you later." Walks up and away. Coming up short, Liquid not going to be able to get the grab onto Envy this time.
Yeah, I was wondering there for a second, is he trying to fight there? No, it's just an intelligent way. Use your ulti as a blink, and then track comes up, get that speed, run away.
Very heads up. Something I certainly would not think about. That would have been me dead for sure, but he has the heads up, uses the ult to step out, and now they see an opportunity maybe to go for Mind Control there. No catch is going to be coming from the shards, and now they're considering re-engaging here. They have Vacuum Wall ready to go. And look at this, pop of Nightfall, they're on chase. Misery trying to slow him down, gets out the shards for a bit of a block, and they thought their opportunity was going to be there onto Envy, but instead they get an easy grab on the side. Pylai going to be going down, the rest is Secret. They're on retreat. No Vacuum will come out, and well, Mind Control. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the right spot. He misguesses this time, but Secret will lose one.
Oh, Pylai got sorry, Weeha has just finished his Aghanim Scepter, and Pylai does have a medallion. I see Weeha and Puppy smoking towards the rush pits. I was wondering if, Eternal Envy was also in the smoke, so that's the play. They're not going to have the medallion, and I think that, yeah, Nightstalk is probably going to run...
He's running into trouble. Oh, it's a 3-on-1 suddenly. Jerix, yeah, nope, that's not a fight you can take. He's out.
Well, he can probably guess, yeah, the pings come out, he can probably guess that was a smoke to the rush pit. And now probably Liquid will be aware of the possibility of that sneaky rush attempt in this game.
And now you can see their attention shifts. Most of them migrate to the lower part of this map, and Secret can make a safe bet that they're going to be waiting on the other side, and we're going to see that typical kind of Mexican standoff we usually do around this Roche pit. Definitely Secret want to grab it up for themselves, but Liquid know that they have the opportunity for a great team fight. They already got the Alpha Wolf to help kind of scout out the pit itself. I don't know if Secret can afford a lot of time just dancing around here, hoping that, you know, there'll be a window where they can sneak Envy in.
Puppy's finished his Glimmer Cape on the career. It's not on the way to him just yet, but it's an interesting choice considering the fact that they have a Bounty Hunter anyway. So Liquid have been running sentries and dust pretty much all game. So you might have been tempted to go for the 4-stuff instead, but the Glimmer Cape value when it does help, even just for the spell damage, is huge, and Weeha runs straight into trouble.
And yep, it looks like they'll catch him on the way out. They got a vacuum and they got him down. And yeah, you know, just to go on that, they always also have a vacuum to easily cancel it. Now, I could throw him off a bit seeing only the death ward, I suppose, and they won't know exactly where he is, but it could be a bit of trouble. Long ball coconut comes out from him, connects on the Jerix here. Misery going to hit him with the Walrus Punch. And, well, they're not going to be able to follow up. He's just going a bit too far and away, and Secret don't like it. So they'll step back, but they might see a new opportunity here, maybe on the Mind Control. He steps away with the stun, long shards, and nope, another shortcoming for him. They're just dancing with each
Liquid's
other.
rushing.
Yep.
And that's, yeah, there we go. Eliminate the possibility of the sneaky rush by just taking rush yourself, picking up the edges, and it's looking tricky for Secret. I mean, we've talked from the start about the fact that Eternal Envy's behind. It's not good for him, it's not good for Huskar. But also, I don't know, it sort of plays to the favor of Liquid's draft. They want to group up, so the Bounty Hunter's not going to get that much value in terms of pickoffs. Bounty Hunter is essentially just going to be counteracting the Night Stalker. Night Stalker turns on Nights. You can't see a lot, but at least you've got the track. But where does the damage come from? I think Weehard needs to be using his ulti. They need to be hitting shackles and ulting things with Weehard. Weehard's ulti will take heroes down, but everyone else in his team needs to somehow protect him while he's ulting things.
But is that even enough? You're looking at a team who's got the mech, they got the soul rip, plenty of regen sustain. Hell, they're just tanky enough as it is. There's no like really easy target here. But they're going to make a go anyways here on Matama Man. He is the Aegis holder, and they're not going to be able to bring him down, and there the sustain begins. We'll see if they're going to be able to get some structural damage here on the tier 2, or if Secret are going to have an answer for them. I'd have to say I still feel a lot more confident with Liquid in their team fight. And Secret may need to just hope that Liquid could overextend or slip up in some way.
Yeah, there's certainly potential for Secret to outplay. They've got the armlet toggling, they've got Tusk that can dodge things for people, big shackle shots, mass shurikens, casks of, you know, just crazy casks. And E actually jumps in on the Aegis.
Yeah, it's an Aegis, all for an Aegis here. They might not even get it. A vacuum back, he begins to toggle. The wall drops on his head and he goes down. Puppey gets off a respectable death ward, but it's not nearly going to be enough. It will cost him his life. And with 2 down, Liquid easily going to be able to move on forward and do some work onto this tier 2. Things getting possibly a little nauseating here for Team Secret. This was supposed to be a point for them to really build up on back of some track kills and hopefully a snowballing Huskar, and things are just not going to plan as it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's meant to be this idea in Secret's draft, which is one of the weaknesses of Bounty Hunter often is that he doesn't do enough of his own damage output. Like, sure, when everyone's tracked, you can shuriken and bounce it between them, but usually when you have the supports, you get the track, and part of to justify it, you have other heroes to deal the damage with. Speaking of those other heroes, it's Wind Ranger's got to run away, running into more heroes than she expected to find.
And we'll be able to at least sidestep for now. And yeah, it begs the question. I understand the... Okay, hold on. Misery moving in, trying to get the top man here. No shard, only the Walrus Punch for now. Look at the turn back coming out from Gyrocopter. Call down. Misery's in trouble. Misery to go down here. Now, they were able to get the catch onto Jerix. Almost Misery getting away on the back of that Glimmer Cape, but it's not going to be enough. Matama Man could be stuck in a bit of a pickle, but he still has that Aegis. Envy goes down again. Now the Aegis will be expended for this. Weehaw looking at TP out. He does make it away. Puppey not going to be so fortunate. And another 3-man drop on the side of Secret here. They were chasing out, hoping for an opportunity to show itself, but again, Liquid came together. Their team fight just continues to be that much more stronger. And you know, and just reflecting on even the note of the Bounty Hunter, it was their last pick, and as I said, it was going to be a comfort pick for them, but we know Bounty Hunter does not be that great in clumping team fights where teams want to kind of do any sort of death ball.
Yeah, it's fine if the rest of your team does what it needs to and Bounty Hunter just adds tracks. That's kind of where it's ideal, but the problem is be able to do what the Huskar wants to do, because the Huskar's fighting from behind. You know, he's getting to nearly half the net worth of the Gyrocopter, and that's a point where we see he keeps going on the Gyro, and the Gyro like more or less beats him. That previous fight, by the way, wasn't the worst in the world for Secrets. They got rid of the Aegis, they killed Night Stalker with track, 3 of them died. Given their position in the game, it's not that bad. It's just not clear that they're going to claw their way back into the game with like these sort of not that terrible fights. They need good fights, and not sure where it's going to come from. While Weehard does get scouted out,
he's forced away from the farm that Liquid will clean up for themselves, I imagine, here. And the Secret just kind of have to turn away and allow this to happen, or are they going to fight for their lunch money? Well, Weehad will try to snipe what he can. But Liquid do turn back and walk away. And, well, I mean, it's nice for Secret. They are able to get that little bit of track gold and help themselves out a bit. But you just can't help but feel like Liquid continue to just get a bit more, and things could prove to be more puzzling for Secret. I mean, imagine when Jerix is able to finish out his Ags now. That could come a bit later now because he has just been caught out. Between Wee and Pilot Eye, they're able to get easy track gold there. They will take the extra purse.
Yeah, it's actually probably the most important hero to kill. It's really good for Secret that they killed him twice in a row, because as you said, the Ags is... I think the final ingredient when Night Stalker gets Ags, when you have like the scary 5-man, almost death ball lineup, and you can see everything all the time, very difficult to screw things up. But before the Night Stalker's Ags, there's still some potential to get outplayed, I think. Especially if Liquid prematurely go high ground, which they very clearly haven't wanted to do. aware of the fact that that's maybe one way they could ruin things.
They made their jump on the Matama Man here in the bottom lane, but he makes a quick kill on the Envy, and he might even turn it back on the Misery. He will! That was premeditated for a while. Misery had been stalking that prey for quite some time. Envy waited in the dark. They converged, and it was a disaster. But now they look for more. Kuro getting shackled up, almost goes down. Puppey helps finish him off. And Weehaw is able to make it away, it looks like, for now, but Jarex is on the prowl. Moves in, gets off the Void. Will eat a brief shackle, but not one to really latch. And he is just chomping at the bit to take him down. Runs right through a wall and everything, but that's not going to be enough damage. He retreats north, gets the blink out, and now has a TP. Ooh, crafty little plays from Weehaw to make it away from trouble, and he will make it safe.
Yeah, it's kind of telling of the state the game's in when Haskell tries to kill Gyrocopter, not just on his own, but with a task, his offlane task. And Gyro just turns it around because that's, you know, Haskell is meant to be pretty good at killing Gyrocopter, and not being able to do it with help. Very, very problematic, very troubling, because that's sort of the main role, I think, of the Haskell in these fights in the first place.
Now he's back once more, 1 in 8.
That was before Timberman got BKB, right? He only got it after that, I think.
Yes. I believe.
So things are only gonna get worse for Secrets.
And now Liquid will continue to take their advantage while they got it and press right back over the river, take away the farm from Secret's Woods here, and play the game as they want to dictate it. I mean, they could just slow roll it a bit, wait out, get the Roche, Aegis with that. They have enough in their formula to probably make an advancement towards the high ground here. And how confident can we really be, Scant, in Secret's high ground? That they'll be able to withstand a pressing Liquid team, which O is fortunately about to surround. Envy's able to make it out, but Pylai Die is going to be spotted. A second sentry is going to be committed for this one. He's trying to run out of the vision, and it looks like he actually might be able to make it away. All right, Pie's safe. Puppey with a TP is just going to keep the pressure up in the top lane.
Secret's high ground defense, it's not too bad. Spam the ice shots, the power shot, the paralyzing casks. It usually defending the high ground depends on the attacking team kind of like overstepping a bit, because when you're pushing base, you always feel this pressure on you to like actually get things done. Well, speaking of getting something done, Eternal Envy is gonna be done into the ground yet again. He's 1 for 9 now, and I didn't mention earlier, but we said this was the 4th lowest net worth he'd had all year at 10 minutes. And those other 3 games are all losses. Just in case you're wondering.
Oh, Puppey also maybe next to go down, top lane. Try to get away with the little Glimmer Cape, but they were persistent. They got him. And Liquid in much more of a dominant position than they were just moments ago. The biggest net worth advantage of this game being at 7,500, creeping near that 10K mark. XP way past that. And we already see Fata building now into what looks like his AC. And with that, it's not going to be a whole lot of effort to kind of burst through this fortitude of Secret. Weehaw, the pressure begins to mount on his shoulders on what the comeback game plan is going to be here, Scant. He already has the Agdams, but it's time to build in some damage, and he'll lead in with a Crystallis, it looks like, for now.
Yeah, and again, Weehaw's the only part of Secret's lineup that's really going according to plan. Well, they'll find the Night Stalker again. I wonder if they've got enough. No, they don't.
Fortunately, a slip on the shards there.
Another rush.
He's going to make it away, and he'll be able to go right back into the home. Derek's kind of showing that they're in the Aegis, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to have it nonetheless. Secret not going to have an answer for it here, and again, it's back to them just pushing out the lanes while they can, and well, staying back and ultimately probably having to prepare for a strong defense.
Yeah, Weehaw can kill people. In fact, Matsumaman's coming in all alone here. He's got the Aegis, but if they get the Shackle, they...
Oh, he didn't get the Shackle lined up, but he's doing good damage, and the Shard Block could certainly help out now. They turn and run out from the call down here. They recognize that there's a lot mid lane. Can they turn this onto Matama Man? Well, Misery is going to TP out, trying to slow them down. Oh, Rocket connects. Weehaw's in trouble here. Weehaw has Blink, has TP, uses both. We'll make it away. They've been very scary.
If they hit the Shackle there, Matsumaman was alone. Like, he could easily have just lost his Aegis.
But no Shackle, no opportunity, and Liquid. Looks like they, after knowing that they're going to be in the dark, there was a ping there, but they smoked up and they're on the move in Secret. Did they have vision? No, they didn't have vision, but they're still playing Very, very scared. Waiting inside the base. Only Envy way out right now farming, and he may be in trouble soon if he doesn't TP out right now. It looks like he will.
Looks like, yeah. Or does he wait around? Because
Oh, no.
then I think he gets discovered. They're going to be thorough about this.
Oh, he already used the vacuum. Now it's time to TP. Now it's the time to TP. Oh! Oh my goodness, that was close. Jerix, his arms were in the air. And he...
Just barely making it out, but honestly, small mercies in a game like this where normally we see a Haskar picked and we talk about Haskar gaming, and like even if the Haskar's team doesn't win, there'll be moments in that game where it's like Haskar versus the world, just totally doing it. And sadly, that hasn't happened for Eternal Envy at this game. I don't think even once. I don't think there's been a single fight that has been about the Haskar. They've kind of just like shrugged him off.
Oh, he's not the raid boss, not now. He's a raid peasant at this point until he can ultimately find his groove, coming back through track gold and maybe some opportunities that Liquid kind of hand over to him. Maybe he can make that ultimate return, but as it stands right now, you're looking at a pretty damn beefy Liquid squad right here. Check over Mr. Matama Man, and he's damn near 4K gold already built up for himself. We wager he could either, you know, finish out the Satanic or build forward into something like MKB, let's say, just to help out with the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, MKB sounds about right. I mean, it's a fairly standard build up on Gyrocopter, and when there's a Wind Ranger, especially when it's, and there's a Solar Crest and Bounty Hunter, yeah, it's got to be MKB. Double evasion.
And you know, it's unfortunate as they bring together the Solar Crest and everything. It's not going to work out too well for him here. It's definitely Liquid's ball to drop at this point, but Secret are definitely not out of the idea of running something a bit optimistic here. They dive deep into Liquid territory through a smoke, which, as we all know, they don't have the shortest cooldown, so every smoke really needs to matter at this point in the game, and this time they're not going to be able to get anything done. They will continue to pressure out the top lane, but Liquid are elsewhere in the world, adding pressure to the mid lane and elsewhere. But it looks like if they find an opportunity, they will hustle that way to try to take a fight, but Secret will always be quick to retreat, as we see here.
Yeah, Secret just trying to draw out the game, offer more opportunities for Liquid to make mistakes at this point. I think they know that in a fair fight, they have almost no chance. Pretty much no chance at all. So try and get pickoffs, try and stop Liquid from getting the high ground. Longer the game goes, the more farm you get, and the more chances they have to make mistakes.
Now Liquid turned their way all the way towards the bottom. Envy, no TP for 35 seconds. I think he could be in trouble here. Jerix just muscles himself in, gets off the early silence. Mind Control's there to meet him at the front, and Envy's just like, follow me, everybody, away from the base. He goes down. See, we're kind of inching that way. They better be careful not to get caught still outside their base, but I guess just Liquid will take the one kill. They're happy to get down Envy while he can. He did somewhat buy out. It looks like he has a Mithril Hammer in his stash, but you really can't be, affording to lose even more on this Huskar.
Do you think Matsumba ever gets bored of playing Gyrocopter, or do you think he just likes... I mean, I guess we have like Illidan and Silent who used to play this hero every game as well, but Matsumba, I just feel like... I can't remember the last time I saw him playing another hero. Maybe he like wakes up in the middle of the night dreaming he's a helicopter or something.
Yeah, it came after his like Ember Spirit binging phase. I mean, I wonder if he probably had a lot more enjoyment playing Ember Spirit, who offers a lot more tools and fancy footwork. Gyrocopter's like more of a farm up quick and just hope you mow over the other team.
Has been killed.
Well, they got the courier. That's a step in the right direction here. It wasn't cargoing anything, but that option's now taken away from Secret. And Liquid are starting to just constrict the noose more and more, and they're starting to tantalize with the idea of getting closer to that high ground. Here they come.
Yeah,
right on the front door.
It's definitely looking like a matter of time right now. You never know with high grounding. There's all sorts of strange things that can happen. There's all sorts of like, there's a lot of more potential to make bad decisions because you feel under pressure to get things done, and the positioning for the defending team is preferable. But by all rights, Liquid should get Raxus here, I think.
Let's see if they can. They're a little hesitant to do it. Make sure they want to disperse the extra stun time from even this coconut. Wait for the creep wave now and give it another go. Misery already softened
you know
everything up. And
Night Stalk is really close to Ags actually. It's got to be what they're waiting for. He just needs the courier basically.
all right, that would be a great tool to have. Get that followed up. Someone get him a gem. It looks like Darcy already has the gem. He can hand that bad boy over, and then you're gonna see Secret Team really in the dark at this point, and they're already gonna be pretty starved for farm. And any little bit that they're going to be able to get a hold of is probably going to have to go towards the way of Weehaw, if anyone. So this leaves Envy in an eternal struggle trying to get a hold of a BKB, which might not be coming anytime soon if the fights keep up here in the mid lane. Here. Creeping in. Oh, vacuum. Swing and a miss. Try to get him to the low ground there. Valiant effort, but a shackle shot will connect. The Tama Man has a Satanic. And now he's going to have to pop it here and starts going out with the flat cannon. And oh man, Puppy can't even hold his own life to keep the Death Ward out. Envy goes down. They both buy back. Tier 3 already dropped. Rax is exposed. Liquid having second thoughts about overcommitting into this one. Jerix will be going down. Was able to finish off obviously the Ags before this, but now it's Liquid on the retreat. And they're satisfied enough with forcing out the buybacks to get to Tier 3. Pretty big win for them. And at this point, they could wait out, get the next Roche, and rinse and repeat, if you will.
Yeah, also, it's not just the buyback, it really depended on that shackle from Weehaw, which Secret can't even take a convincing fight despite that shackle. I mean, that's the 1 and 2 position heroes shackled to each other. I mean, if you look at the net worth, 20,000 and 16,000, at 36,000 out of their 62, it's like 2/3 of Liquid's net worth disabled for 4 seconds, and Secret still can't take a convincing win.
It doesn't really hit you good in the morale department if you're Secret. And, well, they are able to clean up a Tier 1 tower, the 3rd tower of the game. Or, sorry, mistake that. 4th tower of the game. Well, they're still feeling rambunctious enough to kind of step out and away from home here while they can, while this Night Stalker's not around. But once he's back, and they still have that gem, they're not going to have very good intel and very good safe areas to continue and keep farming. In fact, Liquid might not even just give him the time of day. They're already back together here, and they could just be charging right back down mid lane, knowing that the buybacks are already down.
Yeah, it's I know Envy has yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get to his BKB because he has to buyback, and the fight's happening right now. Puppy's gonna go down first. I think.
MKB in on time. They're making their move onto Puppy. Puppy trying to run. He's got the Ghost Scepter. He looks like he'll stay alive. They're going to try to take what fight approaches him here, but Liquid, probably not the ideal position. They may have to turn back and around here, but Matama Man persisted to fight some more. Pops a Satanic. He's muscling his way through this Death Ward, and he wants blood. Takes down Pylite Eye. Secret hustled back into their fountain here. I mean, Liquid probably hoping that this fight was going to be taking place in the mid lane here. Now we'll have to start from scratch, taking down the Tier 3. Oh, nice shackle here from Wee. Follow up. They could get Fata down. They will. But Tama Man looking to turn around and fight. No more Satanic, but he still has that mighty BKB. And with that, they're going to be able to take down Puppy once more. Tier 3 will drop. Envy's back now, makes a committed in dive, but he can't handle much of the right click here. But Tama Man on the chase. Blocked up from Misery. He's got to get him down regardless. Mind Control helps pick up that one. And Secret still trying to juggle Liquid around away from doing any sort of serious damage to the base. Liquid do sidestep for now, and it looks like they are going to be able to get the melee racks down here on the bottom lane and follow it up with the range. Hell, they might even just go mid lane. Puppy and Envy not coming back for a while.
It is daytime now, so that might be another dead Night Stalker. Although we had jumped in for this, so I think he might pay with his life.
Yeah, meanwhile, Matama Man up in arms with Misery, and Weehaw's turning it around onto Mind Control here. This is forcing Matama Man and company to head that way. Oh, Shackle not connecting, not fortunate this time for Wee. But he's still on the chase, man. Boop, 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 boop. Needs more. Oh! It looked like he was going to juke it at first, but he ends up walking straight into it here. I'll take that gem, sir. And he is on the run. 9 more seconds. He'll have a TP.
He's gonna shackle them to each other.
He turns back. Oh, he doesn't get the shackle. He tried to do it, but it wasn't there. And he will be able to make
the heroics from Wee in both of these Rax pushes. He's managed to shackle the 2 carries to each other. In this one afterwards, he like went in deep, made a pair of kills on his own. So he's trying his best to just put his entire team on his shoulders, but I don't know. They're running out of opportunities, I would say.
Convenient for them, the Roche is already back up and at the ready here, and they know that they have plenty of resources to do it. Pi toying with him a bit, is around, pops off the track, but he will see Roche already done here. Aegis is going to be picked up here from Fata. Uh-oh, Secret kind of wanting to fight. They want to fight Liquid don't, but they might have to. Fata gets blocked out, pops his BKB. Meanwhile, Wee gets a nice clean kill, taking down Kuro. Puppy will go down to the hands of Metal Man and Fata, and now they look for Envy here. Envy on the retreat. Weehan, go on without me. He might, oh, he's down. Okay, he will go down. Wee still alive. Same with Pi, but that's 3 down. No buyback here. Liquid, it's time to go right back at the base once more.
Weeha's gotten half the kills in his team pretty much, and it's not like he's stealing. Most of those are solo kills. Like, he is every single time doing what he needs to do.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I don't know.
And he's actually amassed a lot of gold for himself. So yeah, it's gonna be a full Desolator. Slightly short from buyback now, but I guess desperate times.
This has got to count too. Nice shackle connection set up with the blink. He will get Jarix down. Will he walk away with his life here? It looks like he may. Liquid need to turn back or not. He got hit with the rocket and he ends up going down, and the flak seemed to be enough to riddle him down. He does have that buyback gold now from that kill. Sidesteps. Oh no! Lotus just in time reflects it back, but he still is able to hold strong, and he will be able to get that next kill. Taking down mind control, but the fortunate thing here, Scant, is that the Brax would still fall nonetheless. Bubby steps into the middle of him. Lands a coconut, Ghost Scepter's backing away. Secret trying to get a bit more from this. Shackle. Oh, he tries to use the creep, but it's not going to latch. Now this time, he will be running away as Fata walks him back. And low on the damage. Envy, though, gives his life and hopes that he can take him down, and they will, but it's only for the Aegis. And with that, Secret, this could be the beginning of the end for him here. Weeha on his last life. Envy down again for a minute without a buyback. And it looks like Misery will be joining him here soon. Oh, Snowball. Stall tactics here. Oh, wow, nice little blink. He's gone. They don't care about him anymore. They want the base. They want to move on in and see if they can get done.
When you go to the arcade and there's that game where like little things pop up and you have to hit them down each time they do, it feels like Weeha's playing that game and he just like can't keep them down, and not, like each time he goes and he kills someone, but it's there's not enough coming out the rest of his team. If you look at the net worths, the next richest person on Weeha's team is like half as rich as him, and he's just like desperately trying to keep them down.
Oh, and poor Weeha here might be going down, and that could be the end for Secret. They know he does not have a buyback. He's out, 108 seconds. We will not be seeing him again. Pylai will be going down next, and that will be the game here. Secret will be dropped. Liquid pulling out a bit of an upset here in game number 1. Their team fight coordination works out, and the Huskar doesn't ever get to be a real Huskar.
Yeah, this is like a perfect example of not what you want to happen to your Huskar pick. I mean, we've seen so many examples of Huskar kind of just doing it, living the dream. This is the exact opposite, and perhaps we won't see a first phase Huskar pick next game from Team Secret.
Yeah, that was a bit funky there, and maybe putting a message out there or something. Definitely a bit different than what we're used to seeing. So with that, we'll cut to a small break, and when we get back, we will see if Secret will be able to bounce back and take it to a game 3 as we hop into game 2 of Secret taking on Liquid. I'm KotLGuy, that's Scant. We'll see you soon.